Welcome back, guys, to another video. This week I asked people what they wanted to see in terms of video topics. One of the ideas that folks wanted me to talk about the most was how much does a real estate agent actually make? Obviously, this is a loaded question. It's going to really depend on where you are, where you live, the actual overall work ethic of that individual, and truly at the end of the day, the passion and drive in real estate. If you don't already know, I am located in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I relocated here about 3.5 years ago. I've been in the state of Texas for about 5.5 years, and I've been a licensed agent for just over 3. So my story, 3.5 years ago, I relocated from San Antonio up to the Dallas-Fort Worth area for a teaching and coaching job. Now, I only wound up doing that for a year before I left and pursued my own business in real estate. So really, I've only been full-time for a little over 2 years. Shortly after I relocated to the Dallas-Fort Worth area is when I got licensed. Now, I had no intention to leave my full-time job at the time. However, the business that I was able to obtain in real estate took off much quicker than I had ever anticipated. So when I got licensed, I was actually looking to do real estate part-time. Whether that meant meeting with clients in the evening or showing homes on the weekend, I was able to truly work my full-time job as well as do real estate on the side. Now, fast forward 2 years, in about a month, I'm gonna be opening up my own office. I've been fortunate enough to bring on a full-time videographer, bring on a full-time business manager, and I'm actually looking to start bringing on full-time agents as well. So if you aren't aware, real estate agents only make a commission, meaning they don't get paid hourly, they don't get paid salary. The only time that a real estate agent is going to get paid is if they are able to find a client, find an individual that's looking to buy or sell a home, and close on that transaction. Obviously, the more transactions, the more you get paid. But just like any other business, there are a ton of business expenses that not a lot of people understand. So the largest expense that you're likely going to have as a real estate agent is going to be your brokerage split. Now, a traditional brokerage split is going to be 80-20, 70-30, and it could be even lower than that if you're part of a team. So as an example, I'm going to be using a $6,000 commission check, which is 2% of $300,000. And if you're on a 70-30 split, instead of $6,000, now you're taking home $4,200. Now, the next biggest expense is an expense that not a lot of real estate agents, to be honest with you, take into account. And it's unfortunate because at the end of the year, they pay for it, and that's going to be taxes. So when it comes to taxes, obviously, the amount that you're going to owe is going to be dependent on the amount of money that you make. So if you're making a ton of money, obviously you're going to be paying more in taxes, and vice versa. If you're a newer agent, you're likely going to pay less in taxes. But just as an example, I'm going to be using 22%. 22% on $4,200 is $924. So now after you pay your commission split, after you pay your taxes, you're actually looking at $3,276. So when you start your business as a real estate agent, you're more than likely not going to have a full-time assistant or business manager. You're honestly not going to have really any staff. What you may, though, have is a transaction coordinator. Now, a transaction coordinator is an individual that's really going to do all the back-end work. In my business, that will range me anywhere from $350 to $425. So if we remove $350, now we are sitting at $2,926. Now, I won't get into much of the nitty-gritty details regarding all of the potential fees as a real estate agent. Just know that there are going to be fees associated with your MLS, and you're likely going to have quarterly dues. You'll also have to pay for access to Supra, which is the way that we get into properties, or if you are listing a house, we put a Supra on the door for other agents to have access to as well. Now, if you're listing a home, you also have more expenses such as professional photography, I hope. If you're not using professional photography as a real estate agent, you're doing it wrong. Now, if you want to go above and beyond, you can even include listing videos with your listings, and obviously there's a cost of marketing your listings as well. So my initial commission check of $6,000 is now a little under $3,000, and if this was a listing of mine, I still haven't paid for photos, any kind of video, or marketing. So at the end of the day, on a $6,000 commission check, I'm probably going to be walking away right about $2,000. Now again, this is a very broad example. You know, you can work for a boutique brokerage and have a much better commission split. You could also be a very high level producer and not be paying any commission whatsoever at all. However, about 86% of real estate agents fail within their first 2 years. And the reason is because they do not understand how to run a business. So obviously this is a very broad example. There are going to be areas that you potentially can make more The biggest thing when it comes to being a real estate agent is continuing to do business. For example, if I was relying on one sale or one purchase a month and something went wrong or something didn't go as planned or the commission had to be reduced, now I'm making far less than I initially anticipated. So just one big suggestion that I have for individuals that are looking to get their real estate license is make sure that you know what you're getting yourself into, and honestly, I would not jump right into the deep end. For instance, me, I was able to work my full-time job and build up my real estate business on the side enough to where I felt like then at that point I could jump into the deep end. You're gonna have to put a ton of time and effort into it, but it is the most rewarding job that I've ever had. So if you have any comments or questions about what it takes to be a real estate agent, it doesn't necessarily have to be in the state of Texas or locally here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I'm well connected across the country. If you do have any questions, leave them down below. I'll make sure to get back to you. And if you do want to be a real estate agent, go out and crush it.